Thank you for joining me. My name's Amanda from Mystical Dragon, and tonight I wanted to be able to chat to you guys about the Aquarian full moon that we have coming up in a few days' time. I also wanted to be able to share with you a little bit about the Lionsgate that we experienced at its peak tomorrow as well. So I'd like to cover just a little bit of the Lionsgate information, because I feel that it's really relevant, especially that the full moon and the Lionsgate portal are quite close together. So we're really going to have a mix of the two energies that are going on this week. So I'm feeling really strongly it's really a good time to work with perhaps both of the energies, or when I talk about some key energies for each one, you might be feeling drawn to one versus the other, but you'll find both of those energies will be really potent this week and will still be potent around the full moon. So, work with whatever you're feeling guided to. Don't feel like it has to be one or the other. You can certainly blend the two energies as well. So if you're feeling drawn to certain things from the Lionsgate and the full moon, then certainly you could work with more than one focus or one energy this week, because we will be being influenced by both energies. So you might have already felt that there's a lot that's been going on an energy level, as there often is in the lead up to these kind of gateways and energy portals, as well as full moons, because we've got a real building of energy that takes place in the lead up to these events. So tomorrow with the Lionsgate, the 8th of August, that's always the peak of the Lionsgate energy. So the kind of the lead up, or the energy that really starts to build towards that, is usually actually around the end of July, that we actually already start to have a bit of momentum towards the Lionsgate portal. And then of course we always have the 2 weeks where we've got that waxing energy heading towards the full moon. So we've got that heightening of energy that is growing, building all the way up to the full moon, or the peak of the full moon, where it's completely full, really. So for us here in Australia, we actually have the peak of the full moon on Friday, the 12th of August. So it's this Friday. We've got that coming up 11:35 a.m. in the morning here in Australia. I have also got for London, it is still on the 12th of August, but you'll experience it at 2:35 a.m. to be really specific. And in New York, it's the 11th of August at 9:35 p.m. You'll experience that peak of the full moon where it's completely full. So some are calling this Aquarian full moon a super full moon. I follow Yasmin Bollard's work, and she doesn't call it a super full moon. There's two schools of thinking when it comes to super full moons, and that essentially comes down to how close the moon has to be to the earth in order for a full moon or even a new moon to be called a super moon. And so they essentially, the two schools of thought, have a slightly different thinking as to how close things need to be. And so that's why some are still calling this a super moon. Yasmin Bollard's work, she doesn't call it a super moon. So we've had our two super moons, with the biggest, the closest full moon being at the last full moon of last month. So she doesn't class it. So because some are still classing it as, we know that it is going to be a little bit closer, therefore a little bit more powerful, because obviously, we are still in that being fairly close to the moon, the earth being fairly close to the moon still. So do know there is extra energy afoot already. Plus, of course, with the Lionsgate, of course, there is extra energy that is afoot. And what helps to build with that extra energy, especially for the Lionsgate, we've got solar storms taking place. We've had solar flares and big CMEs. We've had a couple of what they've called solar tsunamis, where it seems like there's a lot of solar flares that are kind of joining together and kind of happening at the same time. There's been a lot of solar winds. We've had some Schumann resonance things happening. So all of this influences us and can trigger ascension symptoms. So things like exhaustion, having insomnia, or being so exhausted that you just really struggle to keep your eyes open, headaches and migraines, lots of achiness. It can influence things like your digestion. It can influence nausea, diarrhea, colds and flu type symptoms can all get triggered. On the kind of the other side of the scale there, though, we can also have really positive things being triggered and be having really positive experiences. Things like you might be sleeping and experiencing lots of dreams, maybe some really crazy dreams. I know I've been having some crazy dreams with the energy, or it might be really profound dreams, and even seeing things that are yet to come, that sort of stuff. You might find that your guides or your intuition is being really loud and really strong at the moment, and it's like you just can't miss what you're being guided to, what you're being told. So really pay attention to that if that's happening for you. Your meditations might be being really profound. The divination, any cards and divination tools you're using might be really direct, and you can't miss those messages. It's just like in your face. So you might be having lots of those sort of experiences, seeing things, hearing things, all your psychic channels are really turned on. So that's kind of the other side. Or you might find you're kind of flicking between the two, where you're experiencing some of the ascension symptoms that are more uncomfortable, which tend to tell us that we're doing a lot of clearing, that we're releasing a lot of things, that we're shifting a lot of stuff so that our channels can be clearer, so that our vibration can be raised. And then you might find that, yes, you are having some of that intuitive stuff that's also coming through. So you could find it's a bit of a mixture as well. So do know at the moment, like I said, it's because we've got the Lionsgate tomorrow. So in regards to the Lionsgate, so the Lionsgate, the peak of the Lionsgate, this is where we have a cosmic alignment of the Orion's belt, of the Sirius star, or the planet Sirius star, and with the Pyramid of Giza. So there is a cosmic alignment. And so we have a lot of cosmic energy that rains down, particularly at the peak, so particularly on August the 8th. And some even say, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. are like the real peak times at the Lionsgate. But I just kind of feel like that whole 24 hours tends to be really powerful, as well as the time. Like I said, this kind of starts, this doorway opens up around the end of July. Especially when we have the new moon, and it just keeps building from there. So it's always that Leo new moon, so that has that lion energy that is also influencing the Lionsgate. And goddess Sekhmet, if you know the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet, who's the lion-headed goddess, and the lions people, they're really strong. Their energy's really strong as well, so they're good energies to work with around the Lionsgate also. And I always love the fact that the Witches' Sabbath Imbolc also falls around the 1st of August, so it's always in that time where the Lionsgate energy is open and building towards the peak, because there's lots of fiery energy and fiery connections that take place at Imbolc as well. And like Goddess Bridget is one of my favourite energies to work with at Imbolc. And she is very much a very fiery energy, and all of I suppose all the key energies that really work with Goddess Bridget tend to really work well at this time. So with the Lionsgate and with this coming full moon, she's a wonderful energy to still be working with at the moment if you are drawn to her energy. And if you haven't heard of her before, definitely have a look, because she's an amazing goddess to work with, a beautiful Celtic goddess. So that's the Lionsgate in a nutshell. I do have a separate video that I did last year which goes a bit more in depth on the Lionsgate. It's on our YouTube channel. I'll make sure I share that tomorrow on Mystical Dragon's Facebook page as well, for anyone that wants to watch something that goes into it a bit more also. But essentially the Lionsgate, it has lots of energy, like creative energy is really boosted, courage and strength, vitality. These are some of the key things that you can definitely work with, key energies you can work with at the Lionsgate. And it's definitely a really good time to focus on doing things connected to your intuition. So meditate, be open to some of the messages and the energy that's coming through. Receive healing, giving healings, really good things to be doing at the Lionsgate, doing divination, all of those kinds of, connecting in with your intuition and making time for your intuition are also really good to do at that Lionsgate peak. Now remember, it is a peak, so tomorrow we have the peak, and then after tomorrow there's like a releasing of the energy. So it's not like it's flicked off like a switch, which is why I say to you that this energy will still be around. It will still be potent at the full moon that we experience on Friday as well. So going back to the Aquarian full moon, which we're going to experience on Friday, of course, like all full moons, these amplify all energy. So it will amplify anything that you want to put your focus to. It's going to help you amplify that particular focus, or amplify the energy towards that particular focus. But there are certain things, obviously, that the Aquarian energy will bring that will help to highlight and be extra good to focus on. So freedom, creative expression, focusing on intuition as well is another good one for Aquarius. Problem solving also is really good. Friendships, breaking bad habits, these are all really good energies that Aquarian really puts a boost behind as well. So if any of those things particularly appeal to you, then you might decide that that's something you want to make a focus around the Aquarius full moon. And honestly, we are in that build up. The peak of the full moon is on Friday, but we always say as witches that we've really got a 3-day window that we can make the most use of that full moon energy. So it's the day of the full moon itself, it's the day before, and also the day after. So especially if you're wanting to perhaps work with some of the key focuses that work with both the Lionsgate and the Aquarius moon, you might want to maybe do it in between the Lionsgate and the Aquarian full moon, or the day before the full moon, rather than smack on the full moon itself. So go with what you're feeling guided as being the right thing for you to do. Know that there isn't a wrong answer for this. Go intuitively. You'll always be guided as to when's the right time, or what's going to fit in best with your schedule, is sometimes what it comes down to as well. So this month, for our full moon spell box that we do at Mystical Dragon, I felt guided to kind of work with a combination of the two energies rather than just the Aquarius energy. So our spell box is focused on warrior strength and courage and protection. And so it has a spell and everything you need for it in the full moon box, which is still available, which you can get through Mystical Dragon's e-store, or you can even pop down and organise to grab one directly from the store if you like as well. They're only $30, very affordable, and it has all your instructions and everything you need. And I will be doing, as I do every month, a separate video that I pop up on our YouTube where I just take you through the spell. So if you need, you want that bit extra guidance, I'll take you through the spell and how to do the spell for yourself as well. That should be up in the next day or two. Two other areas I'm going to encourage you to be focused on this month is creative expression and also the intuition side of things. So because both of these are going to work so nicely with this current energy, this mix of the two energies. So I felt like this is the areas to focus on tonight. So on a creative expression level, so that means this week, whether it's Friday or any time this week, is going to be a great time to literally do some of that creative stuff that you love doing, whatever that creative outlet is for you. So it might be painting or writing or drawing, it might be dancing or singing, it might be making a fairy garden out the back somewhere and kind of converting that into some beautiful space to welcome the fairies. Might be baking or cake decorating. There's some of the things I love to do. So whatever creative thing it is for you, some kind of craft maybe, this is a really good time to devote time for it, because that energy is going to be really boosted at the moment. So you don't even have to do anything on a magical level for that. Just know that energy is amplified. And so it's great to take time to, be able to work with some of that, to do some painting or whatever it is that you love to do on a creative level, or do a few things if you love lots of different creative things as well. I would also encourage you, this is an energy where you can actually look creatively at your life, or a very, different aspect of your life in a more creative way. So maybe you're feeling a bit stuck at the moment in a particular area of your life. Then you could set your intent that you want to perhaps have some creative solutions for whatever it is that you're feeling a bit stuck in. Or maybe you're just feeling a bit uninspired and you'd love some, creative inspiration or creative solutions to help kind of get you out of the stuck place that you are. So whether that might be in your business or in schooling or at home on some level, whatever level it is, it doesn't matter. This might be the time to start looking for a creative solution or some creative inspiration to help get you out of a challenging space, or, maybe just out of a funk that you're having in a particular area. So, you can do some spell work around that, and I'll give you a few spell component suggestions that might help in a minute. We can also call in muses to help with our creativity as well. So a muse is a beautiful spirit being that comes in to help us be inspired while we're doing some of our creative stuff. So like I mentioned before, that painting or writing or craft or whatever it happens to be, we can actually set intent and invite a creative muse to come in and to assist us with that. I find this is particularly helpful when you maybe, like if you're doing some writing and you've got writer's block, then calling in a creative muse can be really helpful. Or if maybe you found you're kind of feeling a bit stuck with the painting, you were in a wonderful flow and at the moment it's not really flowing for you, you could ask a creative muse to come in. And you don't need any special words for that. It's just more setting intent and speaking from the heart that I find works. For me, my creative muses tend to be dragons. They tend to look like dragons, be beautiful orange dragons that come in and around me. But I have seen muses that are more like fairy, sprite-like. I've seen them just come in as more like colour rather than having a specific shape. So they really can vary in what they look and feel like. Although I'd have to say, on a feeling level, they tend to be really light, joyful. They have a really happy, light energy. So that would be the sort of energy that I would think you would feel no matter what kind of muse comes in for you, because they love connecting with all the happy, creative, colourful type of stuff for us, and helping us to find that flow with all of that too. Even when the muses come in, you won't automatically have necessarily creative juices just start instantly flowing. Sometimes they'll be around you for a little bit before that happens, so it can be good to perhaps do a little meditation or something of that nature, perhaps burn a candle and just have some quiet time and allow some of that energy to flow, or even maybe go for a walk out in nature or something like that to kind of allow that energy to flow. So that can be good things to do if you're wanting to connect to your muse. So some of the spell components I would suggest, if you wanted to put together a spell for yourself in relation to being creative, or perhaps finding some creative solutions, you'd be looking at an orange candle for sure on anything on a creative level. Also, your citrus oils I tend to find are wonderful to work with on a creative level. So whether you are burning a citrus oil or diffusing a citrus oil for that beautiful scent, or perhaps burning a citrus incense for that wonderful scent, or you could use those particular oils to anoint a candle. These are all options for you. Some of your crystals, so you want to kind of more be working with the orange type of crystals. So citrine is wonderful, carnelian is wonderful as well, mookaite and orange calcite, these are all really good ones. Amber would be another really good one. So anything that's more of that orange or orangey yellow kind of flavour, or I should say colour, will tend to be very creative for you and work on those levels. And on a divinity level, someone that you might call in aside from the creative muses, Goddess Bridget loves doing all the creative stuff. She's into craft. She's one to call on if you're a kitchen witch. She works on all of that level, very creative. The Goddess Anne, which is connected to the fairies, she would be really good. Sarasvati, Goddess Danu, and the Goddess Minerva, these would all be really good divinities to work with if you're wanting some of that creative solution or creative expression type energy. So you could certainly easily put a simple spell working with creativity together from those ideas. And the other thing that I mentioned is on the intuition side. That is definitely something worth looking at working with this week. Even if you decide to perhaps focus very much on doing some of these intuitive things at the Lionsgate, and you could even shift your focus over to something else at the Aquarius full moon. You certainly could work that way. But definitely with the Lionsgate, you want to make sure that you've got at least some time where you're meditating and being open and receptive to your intuitive guides, intuitive messages, what's coming through, and maybe just some of the energy that's coming through. I do have quite a few spells that connect with intuition and opening on psychic levels and those sorts of things that are on our online book of shadows, and that's free on Mystical Dragon's website, which is mysticaldragon.com.au. So check that out if you're looking for a spell that's already kind of all completely put together for you. But this is really good time, so connecting with your guides and your angels. Even if you don't already have a great connection with them, try and make some time to do some little meditations. Ask them for some signs and symbols in your physical life. We can definitely do that. Ask them for some signs that they're there, that they're around, or confirmations. If you think you get a message from them, you think you've got a particular message, please give me confirmation of this particular message. And ask for it to be something in your physical life to help give you the confidence that yes, I'm getting this right, yes, this is definitely the right message that I'm getting. Ideal time as well with this intuition focus to work with your chakras, because of course our chakras help us in being open, having a beautiful flow on an intuitive level. Don't just focus in on those chakras that specifically collect to intuition. Focus on all of them, because the more that they're all open and flowing, the better you'll find your intuition is. So don't just focus on the intuitive ones. We need all of them to kind of be open and flowing and in a good place, not just one or two, because then you'll still have some dramas. So you might do a crystal layout for the chakras. You might do a guided meditation. You might be confident not to need a guided meditation and to do your own type of meditation with the chakras. You might think about doing some color therapy, incorporating chakra colors in some way. So think on those sorts of levels with working with the chakras and intuition. Of course, it's going to be a good time with intuition to work with divination. Get out your favorite divination tool and spend some time. Ask some questions if there's something that's really stumping you or challenging you, or maybe have a little bit of a look ahead. What does the next month or two or the next few months up to Christmas? Who can believe that we're already in August? I've already been thinking about September and right up to the end of the year. So you could have a look at how does the next few months look. Are things settling down? So, do a little bit of divination on any area you're kind of feeling that you maybe need a little bit of extra guidance and support in. Journal writing is also a really good one when it comes to intuition, because acknowledging what we get actually helps open our intuition and helps us to trust the stuff we're getting on an intuitive level. So doing things like journal writing can really be going through and acknowledging, I had this experience, I had this dream, I had this, my guide came through and I think this was the message they gave me. So writing this stuff down helps to acknowledge that this stuff is happening, which can help future psychic experiences and intuitive experiences to happen. So it can really help to consolidate things, help you to have your aha moments where you might not have quite realized, but when you sit and reflect and write, you might suddenly have that aha and realize, oh, actually something did happen. So,